points, and the NFC title game awaits the winner here as we're underway in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
There you go. 52 is the mic. I'm trying to collect. Check 36. Here we go. Go to 54. Go to 54.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Watch out. Hey, kill.
Now Prescott. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. Trying to cover Cooper there a little too closely.
And he's such a tough cover because he runs his route so well. Hard to stay with him and hard to figure out exactly where the break points are. And in this case, he created another pass interference call.
Check 52's the mic. Check 52's the mic. I'm coming.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Prescott now from the 50. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, they were unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry.
Looking to throw. Prescott. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 28.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already into field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. A 1st down carry by Elliott. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. This is Elliott. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Third and short yardage, Prescott. That ball is caught. It's Gallup. Touchdown, Cowboys. Michael Gallup there to make the grab as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Ready, ready. 70, Indy. Hard.
On first down, Noble.
Tighten up.
Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
On second down now, Noble. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And the Cowboys here on third down, bringing in an extra defensive back. They'll try the left side. Noble slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room and pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
At the 34-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And he's got Ezekiel Elliott. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
There you go. All day. Here we go, 47. 26.
Prescott looks to throw on first. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Blake Martinez.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done.
18, Mike, 18. In the face. Go. Get out there. 26.
Here's Prescott. And he's going to go down again. Bradley Chubb, he's the one that drops him this go-around. And that pass rush getting strong here. Back-to-back sacks. They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long.
Watch 18. 18's the mic. Let's go.
Prescott from the gun. Going to take a shot for Gallup. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
They'll run on first down. Noble. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Set 90 Wolf.
On second down, Noble, room past the 20. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold.
Hey, Sam off. Look at me, zipper.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. Back to throw. Archer caught by Jones. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
Here we go, G. Get off the field. Kill. Watch the ship. Going to 53. Watch the ship. Watch the 26.
They'll try the right side with Elliott. And an alley to run. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 22 yards there, a first down. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the fourth overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. From the pistol, here's Elliott. Elliott a first down and more. And he'll finally be taken down at the 18. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Hey, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Check. Fresno.
From the red zone now, Prescott. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. They'll get to him just inside the 15-yard line. And even after that fancy footwork we saw, a good job defensively to recover.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Kill. Hey, turn it up.
We're going to 53.
10th carry now for Elliott. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Watch the whip. Check. Crunch. Crunch. Here we go. Go to 54. Go to 54. Line. Take it.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now Archer operating from the gun. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. And he's going to be met behind the line of scrimmage and taken down. And a penalty flag is going to come out on top of it. Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Going to give this time to the tailback. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run. But how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you've got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
I'm letting you know right now. You're going to 53.
Elliott running right. Fighting through it. He's got space. Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. Past the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he's got this down to the 35. First down, Lions on a pickup of 13.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Archer throwing on first down. And that'll be incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
On 3rd down, Noble. And he'll be brought down at the 34, well short of the first down marker.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent is really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total.
Mike 18.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
I got you, son.
We're going to 54. Why?
Watch twist. Echo. You got tight right there.
3rd and long for Prescott. Oh, Prescott stripped, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Back to throw is Archer. Following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Of course, they have the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Stay focused. Come on. All right. I got you.
Here we go. Go right in.
I'm coming. Check.
First down, Prescott. And this one complete to Reed. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on second down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. To throw is Prescott. Trying for Cooper again. This time he finds it. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
Cowboys first down. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Watch that in. Tight end's right.
They'll throw again. Prescott nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
He's coming. We got double up.
Throwing. Prescott. Got some real estate inside the 30. This is the tight end, Njoku. And finally wrestled down at the 11. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. The kick by Marr is good. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them.
Rock it.
They'll keep it on the ground. Noble And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Here's Archer to throw on 3rd down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
Check 15. We're going to 53. Check 26.
On 1st down, Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Again, it's Elliott. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. 3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on 3rd down.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 11.
Here we go. Wide in. We're going to 54. Wide in. 3 bars. 26.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Being chased out left. He may try and run for this. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Marr able to put this one through. And the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Focus, defense, focus.
Archer now. From the gun, he'll throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Archer. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. A well-executed 22-yard gain. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
First down, Lions.
56.
Now Archer operating from the gun. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. Noble. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Give it. Three yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
All day, baby.
Ready. 60 outlaw. Come to my world. We want to go.
They'll try the left side. Noble. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. They'll try and run for it. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Cowboys defense is going to get them the football back. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
Bashed it.
Super toe.
We're going to 53. 26.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. Xavier Woods, the free safety, up to make the tackle.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. Now Prescott. And he will find his man on the outside. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a 1st down as well.
First and 10 at the 34.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. One quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
We're going to 54. Why ain't?
They'll run with Elliott. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
At the 37-yard line.
There we go. Why ain't? 52 is the mic. Then we're going to 53. 26.
A 20th carry here for Elliott. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what it said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
We're going to 54. Why ain't? 26.
They'll try to run it in with Elliott. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
Here we go. Why ain't? Undercross. Then we're going to 53. 26.
Now here's Pollard. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Taking it in from 2 yards out as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And right now, Charles, I think you'd have to say their class starting to show through.
Yeah, they were disappointed not to get the #1 seed in the playoffs, but the reality is these guys can play anywhere. It doesn't matter for them.
And if they can indeed hold on to this lead, that's going to set up one heck of a championship game next Sunday.
Let's come back and watch it, shall we?
Something tells me you and I are going to be there. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
They'll keep it on the ground. Noble. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. The Lions on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Rush in. Back. Hit it.
They'll try the left side. Noble. And good pressure defensively to stop him for a loss of a couple. Now there's also a flag to go with it.
You got it. You got it.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the
Archer throwing on 4th down. Looking right sideline, that's complete. First catch for him in these playoffs. He was held without one last week, but he's got a 1st down on that effort. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, Zoo. Down.
Back to throw is Archer. From the gun, he'll throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, puts a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. Deep ball, short ball. That was a deep one.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive, and the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety. We're going to 54. Why in? What do you think?
Going to run again here with Pollard. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. 2nd and 9 now. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. He's got a man, complete. He's at the 30, and all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there for Detroit, 63 yards. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Archer on 1st and 10. This is caught. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown. And it's for pride now, but the Lions do get a bit closer. Extra point safely through as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go!
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now Pollard. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on third down. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Watch the whip. Check. Crunch. Crunch. Crunch.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Throwing here, Prescott. It's caught, Cooper.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Trying to run for it with Pollard. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
That's it. 52, Mike, 52. Bring your... Go to 54, go to 54. Why? 56. SOS.
Prescott to throw on 4th. Buying time to his left. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 15, and that will write a finish to this ball game. And looking at it from the perspective of the losing side here in this divisional round, it all ends so abruptly, doesn't it? A few hours ago, you've got all this hope and anticipation.